change with their subs and all of that.
Oh wow, looks
Except
like we're going in, Joe. So,
we're going in. Scratch my speaking when the pick and bands.
alright, this is probably my favorite part of every tournament is kicking off these bands. And obviously we're going to start off with a Trundle band. Who's that aimed at?
Ooh. Well, obviously I reckon it's Mr. Zealous, but who knows? It could be a top band as well.
It very well could be. Um,
Classic red side Zeri band. She's super strong at the moment. Could have seen that from a mile away.
yeah, it's very true. And obviously with Zeri being banned, Gwen also a very powerful pick. No matter what elo, so they're gonna get rid of that one ASAP as
I'd
well.
like to see a Jinx band. She's super strong at the moment. I know Peter is very angry when Jinx gets through because she can just turbo carry a game from being super behind.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ornn banned away here. I'm guessing that's for the top lane, but it's a bit of a
Yes, he
weird
gets for the
ban.
top lane.
It is a bit of a weird ban though. Yasuo coming in as well.
That's straight for Billy. He's a bit of a yes god from what I remember.
Yeah, I do
And the
believe.
Amumu.
Oh, the Amumu, and that's going to be for Loki as well. Obviously, been
But
playing it for tournaments. Pretty
it
much
does
every tournament.
it does leave his Nunu through. Is Loki going to pick it up?
It is a good question. The Nunu is open. I know Loki will want to pick that up if it is available. But they are going to rotate through and get the Malphite first.
Oh, I rate that. Solid laner, just need him for his ults. Boom, bada bing, you can win the game from him.
It's true, but I mean, it does kind of. I mean, it's not really a flex pick. I mean, the only way you can really do is you could potentially put it mid, maybe support, but it definitely is a more of a top lane focused pick. So, you can very much counter pick this as red side here.
Look, if I know anything, Wazinski does not play Malphite, so I'm thinking in the top, as a man who has won a tournament as Malphite, I reckon OCF can pull it off well. And now with the set for the Beast, and potentially the Volibear, who is very good at the moment. Early ganks, early pressures to the lanes,
Okay,
and it
so
is.
set volley coming in. Obviously that's a very very brawly kind of composition out of the gate. And I
Pretty good early
do,
game, good skirmishing, but they
yeah.
probably have to round it off with some scaling, hopefully.
Yeah, set can be a flex, but I do assume that this will be a answer to the Malphite, and Volibear will be going in the jungle. So Loki going to be hovering here, could be going for the Nunu.
Nautilus. Nautilus.
Nautilus. Surely some Nautilus.
Ah.
Okay, so he picks his ADC first, wants to get a better angle for his jungle, but I don't know if that's the best move, because now I feel like the Nunu ban's up.
TF! Wazinski knows how much I love my TF. I'm so happy. He better pick it, please.
I actually don't know much about Wazinski's TF plays. He actually played the champ a lot, or?
He's really good at TF. It's unfunny. I'm surprised they let it through.
Okay, so the
Even
Malzahar.
better than Malzahar!
Mate, that is a hell of a lot of annoying ults and
Yes.
CC. Between a Malphite ult and a Malzahar ult, how is anyone meant to move? But the Veigar
I'm
countered straight back away from red side.
Look,
I mean, that's
as a,
baby cage central.
as a man who's played this mid matchup many times, after level 6 Malzahar just wins. Veigar doesn't have the pressure because of Malzahar's spell shield. He can just walk out of the baby cage and just keep poking him the entire lane.
That's actually quite a valid point that I didn't even think about, is it's actually a counter. So, is he just counterpicked himself? Is that what he's just done?
He has, but I reckon what they're looking for, Veigar, he's going to rock the Predator with the volley. They're just going to try and just two-man run around the map, put pressure
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It looks like both teams opting for a hell of a lot of CC out the gates, and the bans will follow through with Kai'Sa and Kayn for both respected sides.
Bit surprised there was no Nunu ban or Nautilus, because can't say I've seen Lockie play Kane recently.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Kayn, obviously a pick that Lockie can play, but he definitely hasn't played in recent
Nah, Lockie
times.
can't play Kane.
Yeah, I mean, the Nunu's probably going to be banned here, I'd assume. No,
And
Soraka. So,
Soraka.
I mean, Nunu's wide open. I don't see why you wouldn't go it from...
Maybe they are baiting the Nunu. Maybe this is just the perfect team to counter a Nunu, and we're just fools and don't know it.
I mean, I guess that's true. The Baby Cage and set ultimates and E's kind of do counter the Nunu. So maybe you could go for something like a Poppy or like the Nautilus could be available. I don't really know.
Now that you said Poppy, Poppy would be a sick pick for their team. It's just even more appeal for the Caitlyn after the Malzahar and the Malphite.
Yeah, more CC, the better. Looks like Morgana is going to get picked up without hesitation.
That is a disgusting bot lane. The
Yeah, that
poke
is.
they have down there, and
Oh,
the
and there's the
poppy.
poppy. Oh
Oh,
my god. So that is 5 different layers of hard CC. I mean, we all know about Morgana Q, Malzahar ult, Malphite ult, Poppy knocking you into the wall endlessly, Caitlyn traps. Like, this is... You are not going to be moving against this team comp.
look, I think I'm a fan of the Madison Beer Simps draft here. It is beautiful for the Caitlyn, terrible for the other team. They're not going to move. Merc tread straight away, or you're a fool.
See, the only problem that I see, I mean, I guess with Homicidal Urges team comp here is they've got a bit of a mix going, right? So they've got the Ezreal, which is really good at escaping hard CC. I mean, he's probably going to have to bring Cleanse, though. I mean, you know, if you get Malphite or Malzahar ulted, it's just over, even with your E as Ezreal. So I would expect the Ezreal to be bringing Cleanse. If they
Yeah,
don't, then they're going to have a hard time.
you need cleanse or you're dead.
Yeah, pretty much. There's just no kind of counterplay to that. Especially in the bot lane against Morgana, Cleanse is even viable as well.
Another thing which might be a problem for homicidal urges is that Caitlyn's basically the only AD on their team. So if they all build Merc treads, it's even better for Caitlyn.
It's true, Merc will be extremely high value in this game. You could say for both teams, but Homicidal will have a good mix, but sometimes that isn't the best strategy. You know, they've got some hard engage, but they've also got some kind of long range with the Ezreal. So I think it's about working around that, because if they get too close into a 5v5 team fight, I think they just lose straight off the bat. Even though they have the picks like Set and Volibear and Leona, I mean, you're looking at Malphites, Malzahars, like it's really, really hard for them.
Look, if I was the Veigar, I'd probably cry this game. If I don't get a baby cage off, I'm dead. I can't look at anyone. Getting a rock to the head, getting a laser beam to the head, getting stunned.
Oh, I already know Last Night is not going to be having a good time whatsoever in this game, then that's for
Well,
sure.
pretty good he picked Ez. You got the E to get out. Probably the safest ADC you could pick into a comp like this. Maybe a Jin for the movement speed or a Sivir, but I don't know
Yeah,
his champ pool.
yeah, absolutely. So obviously there's a bit of a delay, because the teams are getting in, and we'll be joining them in just a second. But I mean, what's kind of which team do you think outscales the other one?
Um, it's a tough one. Vega obviously can infinitely scale, but you do have a set volley Leona, all pretty good early and enjoy the mid game. Obviously, Ez loves the mid game. But for the Madison Beer Sims, Malzahar scales really well, Caitlyn scales well, Malphite scales really well. I actually reckon the Madison Beer Sims might have them in the end.
Yeah, I think a lot of this game is going to depend on a few factors, but one of them being kind of how the jungle goes, because I know Lockie with Poppy is a bit of a hit or miss. So if he pops off on his given day and kind of gets that lead and doesn't mess up too much in the early game, I think it's going to be quite smooth sailing, getting to that mid to late game.
All I know
Um,
is that mid jungle combo, the laser beam, to ramming them into a
yeah,
wall, they're not moving. I know personally, me and Lockie in like draft, we played this a few times and basically smurfed on everyone. So maybe that's his suggestion to Az. He knows it works, wants to play it again.
yeah, it could be. And both these teams, you'd have to say, don't really have strong side lanes. You know, Malphite not a prolific side laner, and Malzahar
Malzahar,
Veigar kind of.
Malzahar's a good. Malzahar's good. If he gets that Rylai's, he can just slow them, get out every single time.
Yeah, but in terms of shoving other lanes, they've both got the TP, so they can match each other.
Yeah,
That's not a problem. The only
I can.
issue I foresee is Malphite and Set kind of, because doesn't Set just suddenly win that post 13 or kind of at that.
I can imagine Set getting the early hole breaker, just looking to
Yeah.
push the side lanes, roam as mid beast would say. And question is, who's going to match it?
Well, I'd kind of be worried about OCF here in this matchup. I mean, even though he may poke down Set a lot in the early game, I think towards the kind of turning point mid to late game, Set's just going to be winning 1v1s in side lanes. So they got to work around that, and they got to try and play in team fights, work around this Caitlyn, get this Caitlyn ahead, and just play from there pretty much.
Well, hopefully we're starting up. Timer's got down to 0, so hopefully we're into the game.
Well, it looks like we are. We're kind of slowly getting through the loading screen. I know it's a bit of a delay, but when we're in, we can start talking about not only the summoners, but also the runes, because that also plays a big part. And we often see poor rune choices in itemization, and just like the Church of LS, which crumbled
Oh,
very, very recently, I think
I
we're going to be
nearly cried
taking.
over that. I'm
I
a
almost
big
cried.
LS fanboy. I love him to bits. His drafts proved they work before anyone could disprove them. And it's sad we're never going to see him in a coaching capacity again.
Yeah, I mean, he could always do it, and I know he could, but I don't know if he's going to do it again. It's really sad
He's
because I mean they were doing so well with him.
Yeah, he has said many times that was his perfect situation. He's
Yeah,
not going to go in coaching again. It was too much risk for him.
yeah, it's so sad. I mean, do you even know what happened? I still don't even know what happened.
Well, like C9 put a video out saying like they didn't really enjoy the coaching environment, that he was changing too much. But then LS was on a stream with Joe Marsh, who's the CEO of T1, and just clowning Cloud9. How do your practice work if you've never won a world title? Listen to LS. He's worked at T1. They've won many world titles.
It's
Cloud9 are
true.
fools.
I have watched the video with Joe Marsh, Cadriel, and LS. Bit of a
Oh,
bit of a mix. I like the combination.
it is. And are we getting into a game or what?
I
Oh,
think we
we're
are.
actually. I spoke too soon. The
All right.
emotes are flying up.
I am extremely hyped. So I mean, I guess we can start taking a quick look at these rune choices. Anything that stands out to you as odd or kind of weird?
Look, pretty all standard to me. Veigar with the Predator looking for the early boots of Billy Dog, I reckon. And maybe for set, he could have gone the lethal tempo against the Malphite, just smack him heaps, because you know Malphite's not going to hit that hard back. But everything else to me seems pretty stock standard.
Yeah, I think you're right in saying that. And they're gonna go for an
Ooh,
invade here. This is very Locky-esque, but Dr. Zealous spots it out. But that does actually expend the flash though.
that's huge for them, getting the flash off volley. It does hurt his ganking when he runs in trying to stun them. Can't instantly flash stun.
Yeah, it's true. But they did manage to get a ward for their troubles, and I'm surprised that Homicidal didn't actually come up with some sort of answer to that because they know that Locky is always going for invades, whether it's for vision or a pick or to burn flashes, and they should have been more prepared than that.
Happy seeing Wazinski go on the summon area. Malzahar's best rune, get an E off, get that double proc. Helps him push that lane in big time.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess there's not too much else notable. I don't know if you mentioned the Ezreal. He's gone Conqueror instead of First Strike, so obviously going for a bit more sustain and kind of raw damage than the actual First Strike, getting the kind of efficiency and economy. But both junglers will be starting on their bottom side camps and working their way up.
Don't blame Ez one bit. That first strike would only do so good against a Malphite. Poppy, only poke him a wee bit without conk. That healing will help him out big time.
Yeah, so the Beast has started with his E, which is very interesting. I guess he's trying to zone him off the wave as much as possible. Set being a bit of a bully.
Oh, good route by the Morgana down on the bot lane.
Yeah, I'm having a look now. So obviously a lot going on in the bot lane and the top lane, trading blows back and forth, and I expect this to be quite a high volatile type of lane, especially in the early phases.
Only... Oh...
Alright, so they're going to be shoving under tower. Obviously, that's kind of the power of Caitlyn Morgana. They have a shoving lane, and Leona can't really do much until she has a couple levels under her belt, and she can start doing EQ combos with the W and things like that.
They
So
should be looking a bit scared. He's pushing in OCF pretty hard with Lockie heading up to the top side. Potentially a gank opportunity.
there could be, I mean, this is kind of a situation where you want Zealous as Volibear to kind of spot this and maybe cover the potential gank. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, this wave is starting to stack up and become quite large, and OCF has to be really careful.
Zealous is currently on his chickens. Probably meeting Lockie. Oh, there you go with a nice little trade.
Yeah, nice little trades. This bot lane is going about as well as I thought for these two early on, at least.
Poking them down big time. They can't even look at them properly. CS. They just get a gun straight to the head.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard, especially Cat has to time their opportunities really perfectly in order to win that lane. And look at Leona already going down really, really low, and that's already a kill. That's first blood. Caitlyn wiping out. Cat's got a job, and they're not going to be happy with that at all.
No, that's the huge pushing power of Caitlyn Morgana. Root them once, get a bullet to the head. You're never moving again. You're just going back to your fountain. Good night.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of one of those situations where the pushing lane is just so dominant, and they should have given more respect. You know, they can give up waves. They can do that in the early game. If it means they don't have to die, because that's 400 gold straight into Caitlyn's pocket. And while I'm saying that, Lockie actually catches Volibear just in the corner of the river, and is still trying to fight this. Wazinski's suddenly coming up now, and Volibear's quite low. A lot of damage coming through, but It looks like he could escape with his life here.
He's going to get
Oh
out.
no, the flash! The flash comes through and oh my god, Lockie, that was a clean combo with the Poppy. He stuns him into the wall and that is lights out for Volibear.
Poppy did a lot more damage than I thought she would this early on in the game and showed why Poppy is such a great skirmisher.
Yeah, very true. I mean, I didn't actually expect that much damage, but I guess you can't underestimate that from Poppy, and Lockie knows the limits on that champ. Maybe he's been playing a lot more in scrims that I haven't really noticed, but he definitely has pulled it out in the past.
This is a great start off for the Madison Beer Simps Mark 5. 2 kills so far, 0 deaths, only 1 losing lane. Going fantastic.
It is going. It's a pretty dream scenario, and they've picked obviously a really perfect bot lane. OCF struggling a bit on the tower, but he can do that as Malphite. It's not really a big stress, and he's actually going to end up on a higher CS amount than Set somehow, even though he's been shoved onto tower the whole time.
I know, maybe old mate, who's in the beast in the top lane, is not as good of a CS as we thought.
Could very well be. And now you see the bot lane of Madison Beer Simps. They're going to be coming to lane, and Caitlyn's going to be having a Noon Quiver in her items, and Ezreal's really going to be backing on basically nothing compared to that.
Especially starting off with that tier puts him even further behind in the AD. It's going to be rough.
It is going to be extremely rough for the bot lane, and in the jungle, Lockie's already got his full Merc Tread, so with that Predator, he's going to be moving very, very fast, and there's going to be no stopping him when he runs into you.
As predicted, Billy on his first back got the boots for his Predator, hopefully looking from some skirmishes with the volley, but that started, how that fight first started, it is not going well.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's kind of a bit of a lull of a game state at the moment. Not much happening. Both junglers clearing back up to the top side, so there could be a meeting once again on the top side of the map. So look for that here, especially as this wave is starting to build up and crash into the red side. So there could be a potential for Lockie here. He's looking through the river.
He does have to his advantage. The Mauser having the Veigar pushed in can roam up, which Lockie is doing to check from that push mid wave.
He is, and now he's coming up behind in the enemy jungle looking for this Volibear. He knows the Volibear is quite weak and he has this small advantage. He's going to go for the dive, potentially sitting in the bush. This wave stacking up really nice. OCF has to go for something. He ults in. The Set's taking a lot of damage, but he actually flips him back towards the tower, and that is a great response from the Beast. Very fast reactions and knew exactly what was happening in that moment.
Well, OCF might need to back up here with the gank from the volley, but Lockie is there to help out.
He is there. OCF is going extremely low. Doesn't have the ulti anymore. Lockie coming in with the pincer. Pins Volibear into the wall. That's one person down, but it looks like OCF is going very low. He may actually escape. Just the Predator popped as well from Veigar, and he's going to find the kill. That's 1 for 1. The baby cage comes down. That's a lot of damage coming through from both sides. Bit of a team fight situation happening, but 2 kills come over onto the red side with the Beast, getting that kill.
It was unfortunate. The Mauser could not roam there. He had no mana. Even if he did turn up, he would have been useless. There would have been no chance for the ult.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was fantastic in the end for homicidal urges.
I think the power that kind of came in that situation was Veigar having the Predator as the rune choice, because he was able to rotate to that fight a lot faster than Malzahar could. And obviously the ults were burnt a lot sooner from Madison Beer Simps, so they ended up losing that trade 2 for 1, but I still don't think it's really that big of a deal. Veigar getting a kill definitely is, but I think they'll be in an okay position.
Hey, look who said about the Veigar with the Predator, with the boots, looking to skirmish? This guy right here. I'm the best.
It's true. You are a prophet, Joe.
I am. The Messiah, as some have said.
That's true. That was your nickname back in the day when we used to play Among Us, was the Messiah. And
Don't
I remember.
Get me started on the Among Us. Today is not the day to talk about Among
mate,
Us. It's time for League of Legends.
I think today is the perfect day to talk about Among Us, and I think Lockie would be offended if we didn't talk about Among Us during his game, even if it was for about 5 minutes. No, I'm kidding. But we'll get back to Among Us because right now there is a bit of a dragon fight going on. It looks like red side are going to be taking it, but there is a blue flank coming in with 4 members. This is extremely dangerous. Madison Beer Simps have the numbers advantage, and that's a pick already from Caitlyn. 4 versus 3. Now 3 for 3. 2 taken down. 1 for each team, and now they're kind of skirmishing back and forth. Madison Beer Simps did take the dragon. Morgana coming up with the Q, but it misses to the left. Caitlyn jumps forward very aggressively. Cat re-engages on very low health and goes down to a bunch of minions from Malzahar. it doesn't look very good for Homicidal. It's very grim. I don't think the re-engage was worth it. They've actually lost a lot more than they could have just walked away with. And the Caitlyn's gonna come in with an ulti and even snap that one up too. Caitlyn performing way, way, way above the pack right now.
That Caitlyn played that fight so well, getting the steal on the dragon with just an auto of all things. It was wonderful to see.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much going on in that fight so quickly, I couldn't even analyze everything. But, I mean, Caitlyn, I know, played that really, really well.
It all started off with the Malzahar ult, which was just free for Lockie to just bonk that character into the wall, and they just won the fight off that. The huge amount of damage from both those champs.
I feel like Homicidal should have just kind of licked their wounds and walked away with that one. Even though they lost the fight, it was a 1-for-1 trade, right? So they should have just walked away. They ended up losing 3 kills, which is really sad.
And even burning a heal in that fight as well.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, so the game's kind of slowed down a bit after that fight. I mean, dragons are important, but I don't think they're as important as, you know, going down 4 kills. So, definitely not worth it, but we'll see if they can make a bit of a turnaround in the mid-game.
One thing I'd like to point out, Billy Dog has gone the boots of Lucidity with Vega, which personally I think is a bit questionable. The Sork boots are fantastic on him. He needs that penetration to just one-shot everyone with his ult. And if not, it's just nowhere near as valuable.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely questionable. I guess he's just trying to pop out as many baby cages as he possibly can, and be as annoying as possible. Malzahar shoving in this mid lane, and he's going to be able to rotate up to the Rift Herald if Lockie needs him. Lockie's kind of jumping in and out of the aggro with the Rift Herald, kind of testing his limits, but Volibear has been countering it. Okay, so the Morgana Q lands, Ezreal comes out, and they've just kind of traded. I don't really know what that was, but, you know, fair enough.
Another thing I'm also questioning, the Caitlyn, even though she's ahead, why get the early boots? Just save it, use it towards your mythic. You could be an entire item up on the Ezreal right now.
Yeah, that's true. The movement speed is nice, but if you have such a strong lead like that, you're better off just going for the full mythic, which is usually the... Oh, wow, okay. These Morgana Qs are just hitting like crazy.
Like,
Lockie's...
if you had the Gale Force right now, you could easily just Gale Force auto Q trap.
True.
Just kill them straight away.
Very true. Alright, this Morgana's going to go for another Q, I do believe. No, the recall is going to get away. OCF running away. This Volibear is just really not getting anything done. I'm not really sure what he's doing. He's kind of just been hovering around looking for ganks, but he's kind of been playing this early game pretty poorly, you got to say.
Oh, I just love that Malphite throwing the rock, just waddling away, just laughing in the Volibear's face, saying, "You're never going to get me."
Yeah, he's just going to be clearing some vision here. Wazinski going to pepper him down with the annoying Malzahar poke and a little bit of a burn as well. He's going to be a bit of a threat when he gets that. Is he going for a Leandries, is he? Or
100% Leandries on Malzahar. If you go anything else, you're just stupid.
Yeah,
Simple
true.
as that.
Absolutely. Lockie's hiding in this bush. Volibear doesn't see him. Zealous knocked into the wall. That's so much damage. That's ridiculous. The Caitlyn are going to snap him up. And see, this is what you do. You play around vision and you take your leads. Lockie's looking perfectly these angles between, you know, walls and things like that. And he pins him against the wall, stick him down for like 2 seconds, and Caitlyn's able to pump in the damage and get the kill.
I love the teamwork. Lockie left the kill for the Caitlyn. Let her snowball even more ahead. Hopefully this time gets her Gale Force. And she's going to be an unstoppable killing machine.
Now, this game is starting to get to that point where it's going to snowball out of control. This Caitlyn becoming a serious problem, and I can't really see any way to stop her, can you?
The only way I can really see her stopping is maybe just get a set ult right on her, get a Vega ult right on top of her, make sure she doesn't move, hit the baby cage. It's the only way.
Yeah, it's true. It's gonna have to be a Vega ultimate. That's a lot of heavy trading coming from Ezreal. And that's what we like to see. He's, you know, in a 1v2 situation, but he's not scared to trade with Morgana. I guess he doesn't show much respect to the Morgana hitting Qs, even though they've been hitting it all game in the lane.
Malzahar's taking the back. Hopefully now, getting the Leandries, which is a huge spike for him, will be able to push in the Vega even harder than he already is. And hopefully help out the Caitlyn. Snowball even more. They just need a snowball. As it's Lockie, the Nunu King, he loves his snowballs.
Yeah, I guess we kind of have to look at it from the other angle as well. Like, what is it that Homicidal can do now? Because they're obviously in a really bad situation. They do have the Vega scaling, but, I mean, it's going to be really hard to get back into this game. Oh, the Beast's going to go for a set ulti, and it does literally 0 damage. It does 0 damage. It does absolutely no damage, and the mid...
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Oh, man.
Me farting in the wind would have done more damage to the Malphite.
I was really about to say that doing a lot of damage, but it really did nothing. I mean, you can't even
Oh,
sugarcoat it. Um, Homicidal will be getting the Drake. There's no answer on the side of blue team for that one because Caitlyn did have to recall. But it's not a big deal. There's so many more dragons in the game. Um, yeah.
she's going for that rapid fire straight away, which is going to be huge. Poke even more.
Oh my
Make
god.
that.
This set is just taking a beating. OCF doesn't care. He's just...
He's
Uh,
a Giga Chad.
he, he really is.
He's that top laner who plays a tank, just goes probably like 2-0-20, has his sunglasses on, smiling the entire time.
So I know the meta's changed a lot over times, but where's kind of your opinion on Rift Herald versus Dragon? Like, what's the priority for you? Because
For
obviously
me
it's changed.
personally, first Rift Herald is way more important than
Yeah,
first Dragon. It can help you get that mid turret open, get that bot turret, let your bot lane come up to mid, or get your mid laner fed a bit more than they already are. So,
yeah.
but obviously after that, I'd say I'd prefer dragons over, say, second Rift Herald and so forth. Because dragons are forever, rifts are temporary.
That is true. I can agree with that. Definitely. Okay, Leona's actually going to be coming in, but the Black Shield covers the CC, so not a lot going to happen there. Caitlyn trading a lot of damage back and forth. Ezreal's going quite aggressive. I don't know if that's the right play. The Leona stun comes down with the ultimate, the solar flare. The E comes through the root, and they're obviously going to be trying to set something up for this Veigar, who's running down Main Street. And he comes down with the baby cage. That's a lot of damage. He's going to go in with the ultimate. And he cleans both. Actually, Ezreal manages to get both kills, even though the CC was done by Leona and the Veigar. And that's a game changer, actually. Ezreal getting both those kills.
And in the meantime, the Giga Chad himself, OCF, got the solo bolo in the top lane.
Yeah, that Leona ult kind of turned the fight. I thought they were losing it pretty hard with Ezreal going down to 30% health. But last note kind of stuck in there. And Cat re-engaged with all the stuns that they had. So a good re-engage. Obviously, they knew that they had to trade some sort of health or life in order to bait them to fight them. So Volibear could come in and gank.
That Leona ult was huge to
Sorry, not
stop that
Volibear,
Caitlyn
Veigar.
ult.
Yep. So
You're
the
right.
Rift Herald's going to be charging here. Set. I don't think he can save this tower. I think he's just going to have to back off. He's still staying. What is he doing? He can't take the 2v2. What is he? Okay, I guess they didn't want the tower. They couldn't take it. The damage wasn't there, I guess.
That was really good by the Beast in the end, keeping the tower. If he wasn't there, it was 100% gone.
Yeah, I guess I misjudged the damage, and I guess, you know, you have to just look back at the champs that were there. Poppy and Malphite, they're not really very good at taking towers, so... Okay, this Veigar's just running down Main Street. Wazinski's running for his life. The Everfrost misses. The baby cage doesn't, however. But he will be fine. He's just going to dance around in the circle.
I love that from Billy, thinking he's strong enough to run down the Malzahar, but he's not. Malzahar's just better. Wizinki is just the best mid laner out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely surprised to... Oh, hold on. Someone's waiting in the bush here. Volibear walks straight into the Morgana. Look how much damage is coming from a support... He just got soloed by a Morgana.
He got solo boloed by the support. That is crazy.
That is embarrassing. Okay, the Malzahar ult, but the Leona ult actually comes straight in over the top and cancels it. So, that's a great ult usage from Cat. Ends up saving Billy there. I bet Billy's in the voice comms right now, just thanking Cat so much for that.
But they did burn the flash, however, off the Veigar and did have to stopwatch to stop the burn from the Morgana and the Malzahar. Otherwise, he was toast.
Yeah, it's true. Alright, so... a few things to take from that. The kills are obviously still 11-5, even though there were a few kills traded back. But I don't know what's going on with this Volibear. He just seems to be phase checking like through bushes, and kind of being a little bit careless, walking into people.
He hasn't been ganking as much as I'd like to be. He's been caught out in that river, nearly that same spot twice. Got soloed by the Morg, and now oh,
Okay, while we say that, the set ulti comes through. OCF takes no damage initially and ult over the wall. He's gone. Oh man, OCF plays way too much Malphite. If there's one thing that we can take away from this game, it's that OCF is a beast on Malphite. Okay, Leona's going to engage here. Sorry. Okay, nothing happens for him because of the Black Sheep. Just kidding. Ezreal's pumping in damage. I didn't even see that was so fast. Ezreal suddenly hitting his straps with this Mirror Mana. And Veigar coming down with the baby cage is going to go in. The Everfrost misses, but the cage does go down, but nothing's going to happen quite there. Caitlyn going to come in with the ult and doesn't clean him up because it's body blocked by the Ezreal. There's just ult flying everywhere. Hard CC. Ezreal can't finish the kill because of the Malzahar minions, and Poppy coming in behind, gonna slam dunk and get the kill. Ends up being a positive trade for Madison Simps.
MVP of that fight, Wazinski at the end, TP'd in, carried it, got the huge ult off, the burn, which ended up getting Billy Dog.
Okay, OCF getting ganked, but I actually don't know if he's in that much trouble. I think the Beast is in more trouble than him. So Zealous continuously trying to gank this Malphite, but it's just not working. He's trying. Is he ever gonna get the message? I don't know. I don't know if he's ever gonna get the message because he's done it like 4 times. He's gotta stop.
I'm the biggest OCF fan in the world. I've become a believer. He's now the best top in the tournament. You can't change my mind.
This is
He doesn't
ridiculous.
care about anyone else.
This is so funny to watch. I just can't believe what I'm watching. But I mean, looking back quickly at the bottom lane fight, there was a few things that were going on over there. There was re-engages. There was a lot of ultimates going through, and a lot of champs not moving at all.
One thing I'd like to point out, Caitlyn did not end up going the rapid fire cannon, ended up going the Storm Razor, which I can't say I've seen built on a champion in a long time. To me, it doesn't seem that important at all. What about you, Damon?
Well, I play quite a lot of Caitlyn myself, and I gotta say, there's not many champs you can use Storm Razor on. If there's one champ that you can, it's probably Caitlyn. I do personally prefer going a rapid fire cannon usually. But I think it's viable. I think it's fine. It's not too sinful as LS would say.
Fantastic for top turret gotten by OCF. Hopefully it might rotate down to the bot lane or the mid lane afterwards and gear up for a team fight at Drag.
So what do you think about this Divine Sunder of Poppy? Is that the normal build? I guess I don't really watch enough of Poppy, but...
From what I've seen with Lockie, it is his go-to item on Poppy. That Shame proc, when you slam people into the wall, is just huge. It allows you to get massive damage out.
Dude, watching this top lane is just... The Beast is doing more damage to himself each time he fights him. I think he's just given up. I think he's just had enough. Malphite ults in, doing a lot of damage. The Haymaker comes out from set, and he's actually doing a bit back now. What the hell? It's a change of events. He holds him. He actually baits him to the last second. Haymaker's over the top. And actually, what just happened? Set's damage just out of nowhere just suddenly killed him.
And it was that Gorgink. He got him a huge amount of sustain, something that OCF was not able to use, obviously. But now that is very unfortunate. Set's getting a big push in on the top tower and has potentially opened up the map even more.
I guess the two things to kind of note about that situation is, number one, first of all, I could not believe the change of events. But number two, it's kind of what we alluded to before the game, where it starts to get to a point where even though Malphite is so strong early at absorbing damage, he suddenly starts to lose the set in these 1v1s in side lanes just because of how powerful set starts to be at brawling. So this could be kind of where that change sort of starts to happen, and Homicidal actually have a window now to turn the game around.
Do you reckon, Damo, if Lockie's team had Shiro and Sneaky, they'd be going just as good?
I don't know enough about them, but based on the events that transpired over the last couple of days, I'd have to say no. I think that their bot lane is outperforming expectations, and probably would have been outperforming the other guys as well.
Yeah, I reckon they'd be doing pretty shit if those two were in, because they suck balls.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate the way it went out, pulling in all these subs, but it is
very fortunate because they don't deserve to play.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we're not going to go too much into detail, but pretty much there was some rage quitting and all that rubbish, you know, that often happens with teams and team environments, but that's why we kind of learn from this. But anyway, getting back to the game, Cat taking a lot of damage, those Morgana Qs landing, continuously getting the poke in, and both teams were going to be setting up for the Dragon. When is it spawning, actually? I don't know. Okay, so a minute 30 on the top left, sorry. So both teams will want to start pushing out their lanes, get this Dragon sorted out, because, I mean, if Madison Beer gets it, they're one Dragon off getting the soul.
What soul is it? I can't tell.
Is it, I think it's Hex.
Oh yeah, it's Hex. It's right in the top left. It's impossible to miss.
Yeah,
but I missed it.
I think Hextech is a weird drag for this particular game, just because there's not many champs that are really using a lot of attack speed to get those procs off. I mean, Caitlyn is going to be very handy on, but other than that, I can't really see much.
I can see it being actually really good on the Malzahar just for the effect on the minions. You just E the minions and it just applies to all of them and no one will be able to stand in them.
Actually, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Whenever you talk about Malzahar, you always got to take into consideration that he has minions, because that's usually what he's applying most of the time is through them, not actually his spells. So yeah, so there's a lot of vision, a bit of a vision game going on. Blue side clearing all this vision before the dragon. They want to have absolute priority, and they're gonna have a lot of pressure on objectives, especially with the Caitlyn and Morgana. I mean, you can't walk into Caitlyn Morgana. There's traps, there's roots flying. It's gonna be really hard for them.
Both top laners do have TP up, so you could see a cheeky little TP from either one of them if a team fight does happen.
You could definitely, but it's gonna be a recall here from the Beast, I believe, is up there. Um,
I I reckon he's just gonna then rotate for the fight, but he has stopped his base.
Yeah, and see the kind of saving aspect of Homicidal is this Ezreal. He's pumping in so much damage, so he's just got to get the good angle. He can't get caught by these hard CC abilities. So they're kind of getting funneled through this choke. This is not where they want to be because
Set
Caitlyn's
is
going to put down the
TPing
traps.
down on the bot lane, and he's gonna
He's
rotate up.
Yep, he's TPing. The Soul Flare comes through. The Baby Cage is absolutely massive. The Volley Bear all comes straight in over the top. It's a lot of damage, and actually this is looking really good for Homicidal. Suddenly, two people fall down, and the Baby Cage comes in. Malzahar, very, very dead, and that's 3 kills for absolutely nothing. OCF arrives way too late to the scene. He's just a very lonely Malphite in a pit full of 5 members. So,
No, I want to see the OCF. Oh, get a 4-man right now. Come on.
surely OCF, go in, do it, do it. Ah, I reckon he could have done it.
I reckon he would have at least got 3 kills.
I actually think that there was a chance that he could have actually done that. He could have even stole it, because if he CCs them, right, but with the damage, and they don't smite, he can take that. So, I don't know if it was worth the risk, but I think it would have been pretty cool to watch, though.
Looking at Wazinski's build now on the Malzahar, it is a bit questionable going the Seraph's Embrace, because Rylai's and Demonic Embrace are just so strong on him. Rylai, do you E and have your minions out, it just slows everyone indefinitely, and Demonic Embrace is just more burn on him.
Yeah, I gotta say the itemization all around for all players is actually quite good. I mean, I know in previous seasons we've had some issues with itemization, but I can't see any glaring flaws so far.
I also do very much love the Morellos. Oh, the Oblivion Orb, sorry, from the Morgana. It's great against the set, great against the Volley Bear.
True. I mean, I know LS hates the Morellonomicons, so it probably. Do you reckon it would be a Morello?
Yeah, 100%. But also, a little cheeky thing, it might be good against the Ez because he does have the potion for some reason. Cheeky 500 gold.
He's min-maxing. He's been watching a lot of Fudge. I don't know. Okay, so Zealous again on this Malphite. Round number 6, baby. And the Baby Cage means absolutely nothing because OCF uses his ult to get out. Won't have that on cooldown, but it's a bit of a low cooldown anyway.
Sunglasses have slid down and he's smiling. He's got his gold chain hanging off his shirt. He's loving life.
He is absolutely loving life, and I just want to have a quick moment to just talk to the chat. I mean, I haven't heard from you guys in a bit. How you guys doing? Who do you think is going to win this? And kind of what's been your favorite moment of this game? Talk to us.
I see you in the chat, Lazy. Hi.
Hello, Lazy.
Hope you're having a great day.
I hope he is too.
Not really. I hope you have a terrible day, Lazy.
I'd never wish that on Lazy.
I do.
Only if he's being mean to me. Anyway, so not much going to be happening. The Drake was taken by Homicidal, so it's going to be 2 for 2. The Baron is getting warded by both teams. They could always force it and force the 50-50, but it's probably not the smartest play. The smartest play is probably just poking them down like Morgana's been doing, and kind of just keep shoving these lanes. Make red teams stick to this choke and lose out on side lanes, and they'll just lose more P and farm like they're doing in the mid lane right now.
To answer you in chat there, Liverus, if you say, what's lucky, it's actually me being silly and calling it Nilampamunu by their actual first name and not by the actual character, champ name, whatever you want to call it.
How you doing, Chironix? Haven't heard from you in a bit.
He was doing pretty good. He has been playing a lot of League for his standards, so hopefully he's not burnt out.
Yeah, hopefully. Alright, so I guess this is kind of one of those points in the game where you're transitioning from mid to late game and everything's a little bit slow, but this is when you start looking at items, you start looking at the win conditions, and you know, the biggest win condition for Madison Beer Simps is obviously this Caitlyn and the hard CC availability and objective control that they do have. Based on what happened in the last fight, I think that flank really kind of screwed them, so they got to be more careful. Ward more and just kind of put more traps down and zone out their enemies, because they do have the gold advantage still.
I
Hey,
assume that blue buff is going off to Billy there from Zealous, but there is a little sneaky Baron in the works from Madison Beer Simps Mark 5.
yeah, seems like they actually might actually be able to get this in secret because no one's coming. Cat may have an idea, maybe sending some pings towards the Baron, but they can't really walk up because this control ward is sitting in the bush and there's a Malphite awaiting in the dot bush. So they are just going to sit mid and they can't
They
do
have
anything about it.
no idea, absolutely no idea. It's a sneaky one. They've got it through.
Okay, now this is dangerous. This is a problem. You know, I've seen teams throw away Baron, Baron objectives and not use it correctly. But if they siege, they have a very good sieging comp because how are you supposed to stop a Caitlyn and a Morgana from sieging towers? I just don't get it.
And the Malzahar, he's got his Rylai's. It's just always pushing. You can't stop it.
So what would you do here? Would you go for like a 1-3-1 or a 4-1 or all mid? Like what would you go for?
Look, honestly, with the team comp they have, I'd just ARAM it. You have a Caitlyn or Morgan Malzahar. That's huge amount of poke. They can't ever step up to the minions without risk of being dying. Getting hit with an ult from Malzahar, Malphite, a Morg Q, there's no chance.
Yeah, you're probably right on that one. And the dragon is going to be coming up, but they have the Baron buff. So, I mean, this is one of the situations where do you stay and fight the dragon as the team with the Baron buff? I don't know. But the Caitlyn traps are going to be zoning off that checkpoint. 5v5, the Volibear ult comes in, Malphite ult thrown as well, Baby Cage over the top, Haymaker slams him into the pit, and that's a lot of damage. Two people go down, the dragon's going to be taken, not sure by who, but it's still trading quite equally back and forth. 3 for 3 at the moment, sorry. 3 for 2. Volibear escapes with just his life. Caitlyn manages to snap a kill on the backside. Ezreal with the perfect E to WQ combo. And they actually end up leading in kills after all of that. Wazinski's still alive though. He's going to pull a bit of a... No, he can't. Okay, so 3 remaining from Homicidal, and that's really a good result for them. And they got the dragon. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, it was main man Billy Dog. He got a nice little steal with Veigar. Nice little, I think it was his W, which ended up taking it as he got the pick off on OCF.
These guys are gonna have to slow down their fighting because I cannot keep up. I don't know about you, but I saw a Leona ult, a Malphite ult, I saw a Volibear ult, a Set ult. It all just happened all at once. It's like everyone, when they go into these team fights, they all just press R as soon as possible.
And what a waste of a Baron buff in the end. No one on their team has it anymore. All they got in the end was just the gold advantage.
See, this is like kind of what I was talking about, where if you get a Baron buff and you should sometimes maybe just ignore the Drake and just push mid lane or like push top lane. You know what I mean? Like,
true, because like if you just push down mid, if they ignore you, go for the dragon, you can just end the game.
yeah, I mean, if they would have gone mid, they would have easily gotten an inhib and maybe even like 1 or 2 Nexus turrets, and they would have been forced to back. Maybe they would have got the dragon, but for what cost? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, then they have super minions and it's just GG, easy win, go next from there.
yeah, absolutely.
But now we have a bit of a stalemate, no objectives up, no Baron, no Dragon, just hopefully nice good old side lading.
Yeah, and so with the gold, it's still actually slightly, unless I'm blind, it's slightly skewed towards Madison Beer Sim still, even though they've
You are
lost the
not
last two.
blind.
Sorry, I'm looking at a screen that's a little bit far away, but okay, so Volibear are going to chase down the Morgana, nothing's going to happen, but this Ezreal, I don't know if you're looking at this, but one of his Qs is doing like 60% of these characters' health. Like this
Hits like a
Ezreal
truck.
is unlocked, he is reaching his power spikes, he is going to be an absolute beast in these team fights.
And he's going for the Frozen Heart next, which will be great for his survivability, especially against that Caitlyn.
But this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted a close game to kick things off. There's nothing worse
We
than an
did.
absolute blowout, so this is good.
We thought Madison Beer Sims were going to snowball, especially from the great start they had, but they've really brought it back to Ezreal doing so much damage, really being in the right place at the right time. Also, the Beast is having great ults in team fights, getting his W off, just basically doing half health damage to everyone.
Yeah. Alright, so the items coming through, Ezreal now on 3 full items, and we'll be getting this Frozen Heart very soon. And some of you may be wondering, why is Ezreal getting Frozen Heart? It's a really weird item to build an ADC, but it really works for Ezreal. Obviously, you get the mana, you get the defensive stuff, especially against, a Caitlyn who's pretty much two-shotting you at this point. So, it's not bad.
Everything else on everyone else, pretty stock standard for their items. Morgana actually did end up going to Zhonya's before finishing off the Oblivion Orb, which I have to say is a fantastic choice.
It definitely is, 100%, especially against the ultimates that that Homicide have. So yeah, and then we've also got the Dead Man's coming out for Loki, and also going to be building towards, I believe that'll be a Force of Nature, maybe.
I reckon it will be. It's more with that movement speed for him. Deadman's also gives movement speed. He just wants to be running around the map, going zippity bop. No one will be able to catch him.
So what do you think about this Volibear's build? He's actually gone for the Sun Drop and then gone straight into Spirits. That's a
I
bit
can
odd.
understand the spirit, but the Caitlyn is the one doing most of the damage on their
Yeah.
team. He has no defense in no armor to block out that Caitlyn's damage. She does have now a Lord Dom, so she's just gonna shred him to bits.
But yeah, it's not like Volibear has Conqueror, so he's not getting healing from that. Obviously, he will be getting healing from his W, but he doesn't have an Enchanter on his team, so the only healing he's really getting is from his W, right? So
Yeah, or he can get
Triumph if he has it.
shielding from his like portally thing.
True, true, and he's Triumph, but I still don't know if it's definitely the best item for second, but either way, it's not the worst. Okay, so this next dragon actually spawning in 25 seconds, and I'm gonna have to prepare my voice for this one, Joe.
Oh, you got it. Easy. You've done like 5 of them so far. Let's make it 6.
Let's make it 6. All right, so both teams posturing around this bot lane, trying to shove this bot lane, get some vision in these areas, and it looks like Ezreal's actually caught out here, and the Malphite ult comes in, but he dashes over the wall just in time. Leona gets popped like a balloon. 4 for 4. Those ults do get traded out. Veigar poking does flash out from the Morgana Q. Ezreal jumping straight into the thick of it, landing Q after Q. Volibear jumping over the wall with the ultimate. He's going in behind with the E, and that's another pick down. Malzahar going down very quickly. Ezreal is on absolute rampage right now, popping people left, right, and center. I wish we had the damage graphs for that fight, because I guarantee you Ezreal was doing at least 60% of that.
We'll let them down there. Cat's got a job, went in, did her job as Leona, but blew the Malphite ult on her and the Malzahar ult.
What's
Need to save
this?
those up.
What's this? Hex Tech from Loki. He's been spotted, so I have no idea what that was. That's completely int. He's not gonna get out. There's no way.
No, I reckon Loki's getting out here. It's that movement speed he's built. No
Oh,
one's going to catch him.
but I mean, that was still really odd. I guess he was trying to go for a steal, but there was just no way of getting it. But I mean, that's Soul. That's Soul for Homicidal. So now suddenly, would you say that they're the favorites now in this game?
I'd say they are. They have a good chance for Baron here. Even though they're down 800 gold, they'll easily make it back off the Baron here and actually be in the gold lead for the first time this game.
So I completely forgot, but this is Ducky's team. I got confused by Last Note being the name, but this is Ducky on Ezreal, and he's you got to say he's been performing the best out of anyone so far for sure.
He has been doing a fantastic job. He's been landing his Qs, hitting a good amount of skill shots.
I think that the biggest part as to why they won that team fight was the reaction time of Ducky when he E'd away from the Malphite ult. Like, I play a lot of Ezreal, and that is really hard to do to time that E away. And he saw it coming, and he E'd out the perfect time, and Cat took the bait. And Cat, like a champion, took one for the team, and they ended up winning because Ezreal was safe from any harm.
I do have to say the Malzahar was very questionable. Cat was already dead. There was no need to laser beamer.
Yeah. Alright, so the Baron buff was taken very fast. Loki's going to try and fight them in the jungle, and that's a lot of CC. This Volt is going very low. Dashes forwards, the Solar Flare comes in over the top to provide some protection, and the Arcane Shift down the center of the lane, and people dying left, right, and center. I can't even keep up. Red team just seems to be on top of everything. They didn't even lose a single member.
I think that might be a GG at this point. They've got Baron buff, 3 members of Madison Beer Simps down. They can just run it down mid and potentially end the game.
Yeah, I think this could very well be just the end of the game. And it's such a turnaround considering what we were looking at about 15 minutes in was it was like what the gold lead was. I don't even remember, but it was a lot, and it was about 10 kills
crazy.
almost. Yeah, it was double the actual kills. So this is very likely going to be GG. The TP does come in. Paul Wazinski standing on the towers. OCF's going to come in with the ultimate to try and secure something. But, okay, he does. He goes in with the ultimate. 5v3. The minions are taking a lot of damage onto these players. The Beast going into the backline. He's going to Haymaker, and he actually wipes him out in a one-tap. That was a very clean Haymaker. But it's not going to matter. The game is over, and that Nexus does fall. Homicide coming in with the win.
I have to say, even though Ducky did do really well. Also have to have a bit of credit to Billy, even though he might not have had the hottest start, but he really brought it back in the end.
Oh, look, we got our sexy faces back on the camera, Joe. But
Houston Rockets, best NBA team. Everyone support them.
yeah, well, anyway, so GG's to everyone that was watching and playing in that one. It was actually an absolute banger to start off. That's actually almost that could be the grand final, honestly.
That was fantastic. It had drama, it had a great comeback story, and it had one man carrying his team over the line.
Yeah, it was a really good game to watch, and Ducky's team will be advancing into the winners bracket now, with Lockie's team going to the losers bracket. But you know, Lockie is no stranger to the losers bracket, and he's won many of games in that bracket. So I expect him to be coming out pretty strong after that.
It was, I'm just lost for words. It was just a great game.
Sometimes it's
We
hard.
won.
I know when you lose, Joe, you can probably relate to this, but the team morale just
I
dips
never
like
lose. I
crazy.
can't relate to this.
But the team morale just dips if you lose, and everyone's kind of in a bad state. But you know, I think in this situation, Lockie's team can't think that way because you know they can take a lot from that game. They were winning. They just had to learn how to push their advantages better. So instead of going for that dragon fight, they needed to rush down mid lane to get the Baron. Use the Baron buff. And they should have controlled their objectives better with the Caitlyn and the Morgana.
Yes, you're 100% right there. With how ahead the Caitlyn was, it should have never happened with Ducky's team coming back. But as you said, they may have lost. Try and pick up team morale. Maybe just talk about something silly to distract you from the massive throw you just had. Make sure everyone's not angry at each other, because if anyone's angry at each other, it's not going to go well for the next game. There'll be snarky comments, condescending comments, which I know certain people in that team may do sometimes, but hopefully not after this loss, since they are very experienced in losing.
Alrighty, so I think we will be going to a break very shortly, just so Joe and I can rest our voices, get some water, maybe order some Uber Eats. I am quite famished, so
Oh, HSP would hit the spot right now.
it would. I mean, we won't be long. We'll just wait on some of the teams and make sure everyone's ready to go. But are you ready to take a break, Joe?
I'm more than ready to take a break. If I need to, I can just stay here, talk to people. I'm very good
All right.
at chatting shit.
Sweet. All right. We'll be back very shortly, guys. So we'll see you in a bit.